Okay, so today we are going to start work on a project that we weren't really planning to do quite yet, and that is build a couple of our interior walls. This is just a mock-up. I'll tell you about this in just a second. The reason why we weren't going to do this quite yet is because we had a couple other things we wanted to get done first, namely get the bus painted. So that way the roof is got a nice clean fresh coat of paint on it. That way we could install the solar panels, and we're gonna put some of the mounting is gonna get bolted through the roof. So we wanted to get that done, and then that way we would insulate our ceiling, put our ceiling up, all of that. Then we would start the interior build. Well, kind of a funny story that happened, a crazy story that happened, is that we have a painter ready to paint our bus that we have a referral to, and been spending a lot of time talking to him, that we're really excited to paint our bus for us. He's down in Mexico, about 4 hours from where we are in Arizona. We took the bus down there last weekend, and obviously the bus is still empty on the inside because we wanted to get it painted first before we did all that other work. But they wouldn't let us cross the border with the bus empty the way it is, because even though the bus is titled as an RV, registered as an RV, insured as an RV, they're saying, nope, it's still a bus to us, it's empty, it doesn't look like an RV, so we're not going to let you cross the border. So, it's a very long story, it was a very long day, kind of discouraging, but regrouping, what we've been told and what we're going to attempt is to try and do a very basic, just a few basic things in here inside the bus to kind of show that it is an RV in progress. And that includes kind of making a little mock-up bathroom. So we are going to install a couple of our walls and then put our toilet in, throw a couch in here, stick a bed in the back, and hopefully that will be enough to say, yes, look, it's not a bus, it's an RV, and hopefully that will mean we can take it across the border, get it to our painter, and get it all taken care of. That's why we're having to build out a couple of walls now. So this is kind of a mock-up. This is actually one of the interior walls from the previous conversion that we saved to use the curve as a template. So we've actually scavenged a lot of the wood out of it because it's a 5/8 inch piece of plywood, and we've had a few projects that we needed some 5/8 inch wood for, and so we scavenged it out of this, which is really why it looks like a jigsaw puzzle piece now. So we just kind of have it up here for now, just as a placeholder while we're planning things out. So what we're gonna do is we are going to support our piece of wood, our plywood, with some angle iron on the end. And remember, we talked a little bit in a previous video about that we're using pocket doors. And so this is our pocket door mounting hardware that we made, and we have a video on that. So this side of the wall is going to be braced up against this hardware, and then there'll be another wall on the other side, and the pocket door will slide in. So we're gonna have this piece of angle iron supporting the wall. It will then be attached to the pocket door hardware, and then we'll also actually make another piece that goes across on the bottom. We'll weld another piece of metal to this and bolt it down into the ground. So actually the weight of everything is going to be supported through the ground and not just like hanging off of this top piece. So we're kind of working on the plan now. We're going to use this piece of angle, and then we'll also support it with angle iron, just some smaller pieces along the side, kind of like this. We'll have a piece kind of up here where it can attach into this piece of metal on the side of the bus, and another piece down here a little bit lower. Obviously this is not exactly right with the curve of the wall. But this is kind of our mock-up for now. We're gonna use this to make an actual template, and hopefully we won't have too much trouble getting this curve on the ceiling right. So that's what we're working on today, is building. We're gonna build 2 walls, both of the interior walls of the bathroom. So another one is gonna go right up here. And we're not gonna do the exterior, the outside walls of where the pocket doors are gonna go quite yet. We're just gonna do these 2 for right now, see how that goes. And then hopefully, once we do the other few things, we'll be able to get the bus down to paint. All right, so we've done a little bit of finagling with this to try and get our piece, our reused piece, to get a better fit, so we know when we make our piece, that our wall, that it'll fit a little better. So we took some of our insulation and stuck it up in the ceiling to make sure that that was the right gap. The other thing is, we knew this wall is actually a little shorter than our wall, just because he built it a little different than we're going to. So we lifted this up about 1 inch to make that fit right. We just had some scrap 1-inch metal tube. So we stuck that up underneath it to get this to be the right fit. And then it was kind of wonky all along. This piece of wood was all crazy all along the side. It didn't fit really well. So we just took a piece of cardboard, taped it up to our temporary wall, and cut that so that that fits a little bit better. And then we'll go ahead and take this out and trace this, including the edge of the cardboard, up on our piece of wood and get that cut out and see how that fits. Alright, so we're test fitting this piece that we made. It's close. There's a couple places where it's sticking a little bit, so I'm gonna try and figure that out. Alright, we made a couple little adjustments, sanded down a couple places, and we just have to fix this little spot right here. We're trying to just get around this rib, and we're a little off, so we just need to notch that out. And then everywhere else looks good, the right spacing for sticking the insulation in. And I think actually the rest of it looks pretty good. Let me back up. All right, not bad. I think we're almost there. Okay, so we fixed that, and everything seems to line up really well now. So before we start trying to secure this, we're actually going to see if we can now use this as a template for our other wall over on the other side. Now obviously, I mean, even a couple feet difference in the bus may make a difference in the shape of this by a teeny bit, that we would need to make some adjustments, but hopefully this will be a good start then for our second wall. So that's what we're going to do now, is test this out on the other side here and see how that one goes. Okay, so shockingly, our first wall actually fit really well in the second space that we needed. So we lined up the first wall on a new sheet of plywood. Hopefully this one will go a lot faster. Alright, so we got our 2 temporary walls. Right now they're just clamped up here, but we cut them. They seem to fit the way we want them to. We sanded them. So tomorrow then we will figure out how we're gonna brace them with the angle iron like we talked about earlier. And then I think hopefully that will be good enough just to say, hey, this is our little mocked up RV. Once we stick a toilet in here, throw a curtain up temporarily, hopefully that'll be good enough to get us into Mexico. Say, hey, this actually is an RV under construction, in progress, but it's not a bus, it's an RV. So, oh, I guess a side note is, I think I told you we're using just some scrap 3/4 inch plywood that we had from when we did subfloors. It is terrible plywood. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, it is just terrible condition. It's supposed to be, I think this was this a B grade, or was that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
A B grade, but I don't know, I think they rate theirs wrong at the place we got it, because it has so many knots and just grooves everywhere. It's really bad. But what we're really going to use for these walls is actually going to be 1/2 inch birch plywood. So it'll be a little bit thinner, a little less heavy, which will be good for the weight of the bus. But I think with using the angle iron to support the structure of it, it will still be really solid. So again, this is just our temporary wall, and then we'll do the real one with really nice birch plywood. Okay, so yesterday we made up this framework that's going to support our walls. There'll be another wall right here, and then it will also be sort of like the housing for the pocket door that goes in here. So we used this 3/4 inch angle iron. We drilled all the holes in it for screws to screw through into the wood. We welded on a little cross brace here and screwed that down into the subfloor. And then up at the top, we're going to weld these to our pocket door track. So I hope that all makes sense. So that's what we're gonna do now, is we're gonna go ahead and screw this into our temporary wall here. And then after that, we'll weld these top pieces on. And then that should be good for this piece for now. Then we'll just have to do the little side braces. And then we should be done with our temporary wall situation for now. Okay, so we have our second wall put up on our brace here. It's all screwed in, so the last step is just to put a weld right here to weld this to our pocket door track. And we'll do that on all four, 2 on this door, 2 on the other door.